This will be on part one of World War II, the beginnings and America's entrance into the war. There are going to be 40 answers. We're going to make those worth 2 points apiece, so this quest is going to be worth 80. Tomorrow we will report to the Commons, as we always do, and we'll have the same procedures as we have had before. And I will take these with me camping this weekend and correct them, hopefully not lose them in the casino somewhere near Deer Haven, right? Okay, we'll try it. Okay.
Is this going to be multiple choice?
It's all short answer. Yeah, all short answer. Okay, so Sully, my dear, I want you to list the major Allied powers in World War II.
The major Allied powers were Great Britain,
Great Britain.
Great Britain, Russia,
Yes.
and
The good old USA.
yes.
So the major Allied powers in World War II were Russia or the Soviet Union, Great Britain, and the United States. Okay, Julie, tell me the major Axis powers in World War II.
Germany, Italy, and Japan.
Germany, Italy, and Japan. Now, if you know those, you will have 12 points automatically. Okay, Brian, on what front of the European theater of World War II did the Soviet Union face Germany, Bulgaria, Finland, Hungary, and Romania? On which front of the European theater of World War II did the Soviet Union face Germany, Bulgaria, Finland, Hungary, and Romania? Which front? North, south, east, or west? Yeah. Well, listen, you got 3 more choices. Why don't you just throw something out there? So somebody said western and southern.
Is that southern? Oh, there was a southern front. Sorry.
Where is New York from here?
Okay, here it is. You already said that. You remind me of the guy in Family Feud that says the same thing as his sister just said. What was that?
There's 3 major fronts.
Yeah. So you got
Thank you.
Eastern Front. Yeah. It's early in the year. Okay, Caitlin, my dear, on what front of the European theater of World War II did the United States, Great Britain, and Australian troops fight the Germans and Italians in North Africa?
Dang it, the southern front.
Southern,
Oh, my
yeah,
God.
southern. Geographically, it's in the southern part of Europe.
But it's in the northern part of Africa.
McHenry? Germany's invasion of Europe across the English Channel against the British and French was on what front of the European theater of World War II?
I don't know, this one's hard. The Western?
Western Front, that a girl. I asked you that because I know you knew it because you're intelligent.
I am.
Miss Baumstark, in the war in the Pacific theater of World War II, list the countries other than the United States that were pitted against Japan. I'll read it to you again. In the war in the Pacific theater of World War II, list the countries other than the United States that were pitted against Japan. Who fought against Japan in the Pacific? Have a little zeal when you talk about it. God.
Is it like Russia?
Oh, no.
This is in the Pacific, my dear.
Oh. Did you
Who fought for the Allies in the Pacific against
Oh.
the Japanese? Besides the United States. Who fought over there in the Pacific?
Zeal.
Let's see here. Shh, just a second.
What's the topic again?
God, do I have to do it all?
Still in the first one.
How about looking right there?
Oh. Oh.
Other than the United States, who fought against Japan in the Pacific theater of World War II?
Great Britain, Australia, New Zealand.
Very good. There you go.
There we go.
Joseph, my man, before World War II ended, approximately how many nations actually took part in the conflict? Before it ended. How many countries eventually took part in World War II? Real early your notes, real. 50, that's right, 50. Aurora, my dear, I want you to give me one main cause of World War II and one example of that cause.
The Germans felt the treaty that ended World War I was like disrespectful to them because they had
Okay,
to
was
take-
that the reason or was that the cause?
Are we talking about like inflation and stuff?
What was the cause? What was the cause of World War II? You gave the reason. You gave the
The
example.
problems following World War I.
Very good. Problems following World War I is the cause, and an example of that, as you said, German felt cheated over the treaty following World War I, right? Or you could put Germans felt they were forced to disarm past reason, or that the Germans had to take full responsibility for World War I, or you could put because their inflation and unemployment was so high, their only way out of fixing their problem was to go to war. So you got several examples, but make sure we got the right cause, and the cause was problems following World War I. Okay, and what's that?
Can you do the other causes, like trying
Well, you're going to, because I'm going to give you, you have to know all three. So give me the second one.
the rise of dictatorships across the world?
The rise of dictatorships across the world, and give me one example of that.
There's 4 of the 5 most powerful nations had dictatorships.
That's very good, that's a good one. What's another one you might be able to give, Porter? Another example of that.
Read the land.
No, we're not there yet. We're still on rise of dictatorships. The best example would be 4 of the 5 most powerful dictators came from four of the most powerful dictators came from the 5 most powerful countries across the globe. Actually, Andrew said it better. What did you say again, Andrew?
4 of the 5 most powerful nations had dictatorships.
There you go, that's even easier. Another example you could have is the rise of dictatorships across the world led to a totalitarian philosophy of rule in which a dictator exercises total control over a nation and suppresses individual freedom. Might be just easier to go with the first one, right? Okay, perfect. Okay. Kyra, give me the third cause of World War I.
Read from like my Germany, Italy.
Right, and what you could do there is you could give Adolf Hitler's example. You could say that Germany and Adolf Hitler longed for the conquest of Europe, especially North Africa, Poland, and Russia. Or you could say Benito Mussolini from Italy was interested in controlling the Mediterranean Sea and the Middle East and any land that Germany was not interested in. Or you could say that the Japanese military, who were the dictators early at this time, were interested in all property in the Pacific Ocean. Yep.
Would you say, Stalin wanted to spread communism?
That really wouldn't be a good example because there's no land involved.
But didn't you say that Joseph Stalin didn't want land?
He really wasn't into land, he was into spread communism. The only land he really wanted, and we'll talk about later, was Germany.
He did take like a lot of land.
He did, though.
took the Baltic states.
Oh, yeah.
and part of the-
Oh, he took some, but he didn't quite make that as public. He wanted communism. So I would use Stalin. Okay, good. All right, Julie,
Yes.
what was Adolf Hitler's invasion of Poland on September 1st, 1939 referred to as? You could actually put two things. Blitzkrieg, or you could put lightning war. Lightning war. Yep, no, he would be mad if you said he gives us a blitzkrieg. Okay, Caitlin, who became Prime Minister of Great Britain who had a rare gift for leadership just prior to the Battle of Britain? Winston Churchill is exactly right. Hey Peyton, give me one of the 2 requirements for all men between the ages of 21 and 35 according to the Burke-Wadsworth Act. One of the 2 requirements for all men between the ages of 21 and 35 according to the Burke-Wadsworth Act. Burke-Wadsworth Act. I'm gonna have to get you guys some highlighters on that. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Thank you.
Oh. Yeah, there you go.
According to responsibility.
We have to register for the draft.
Okay, that's good. They had to register for the draft, and Emily, what was the second thing they had to do?
Take part in 1 year.
They acquired a 1 year of military training. Very good. Okay, Kyra. Briefly explain the Lend-Lease Act Congress passed to allow the United States to send supplies and aid to Great Britain and the other allied countries.
Can you do that?
Yep. That's right. Briefly explain the Lend-Lease Act that Congress passed to allow the United States to send supplies and aid to Great Britain and other allied countries.
It allowed the United States to give them supplies that would be paid back out of their economy.
Well, that's not exactly right. It would be paid back at the end of World War II, which maybe is right, but not quite. Okay? So the Lend-Lease Act allowed the United States to send supplies and military aid to the allied nations, including Great Britain, which is on the question, that will be paid back to the United States after the war was over. Okay, Meg. In July of 1941, after Japanese troops occupied French Indochina, other than freezing all Japanese assets in the United States, what other action did President Roosevelt take against the country of Japan?
And then he placed an embargo on gas, machine tools, scrap iron, and steel.
That's exactly right. He placed an embargo on gasoline, machine tools, scrap iron, and steel. That is perfect. Machine tools. Machine tools are kind of what Tom Rupp Machine Shop supplied. All right. Aurora, give me one of the 3 demands that the Japanese government made upon the United States on November 20th, 1941.
They wanted the United States to unfreeze the assets.
Very good. Very good. Gabe, give me another demand they made.
The U.S. must supply Japan with as much gasoline as they need.
Absolutely. And Andrew, what was the third insulting demand?
U.S. must stop all aid to China.
Stop all aid to China. That's exactly right. Perfect. Okay, Porter, compare the losses and casualties of the Americans compared to the Japanese during the fateful Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, December 7, 1941. What I'm looking for is give me one example of American losses and or casualties.
Japanese lost 60.
No, American. One example of American losses and or casualties.
2,403 years.
Very good. Joe, give me another example of American losses and or casualties. Loss doesn't have to be human life. Porter covered that.
1,177 died aboard the USS Arizona.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay, Caitlin?
21 ships were sunk or severely damaged.
Okay, 21 ships were sunk or severely damaged. Do you have another one, Julie? American losses and or casualties? I think we lost some airplanes in that deal, didn't we?
188 aircrafts, 1 were destroyed.
Okay, and how many were damaged there, Ryan? How many airplanes were damaged?
Damaged planes?
Yeah, 188 were destroyed. How many were damaged? 159. Very good. Anybody think of any other? I can't think of any other top of my head losses or casualties. Did I miss any? What's that? Oh yeah, there you go. How many were wounded? Very good. Okay, good. You're gonna have to come up with 3 American losses and or casualties. Sully, give me one example of Japanese losses and casualties.
64 Japanese were killed.
Okay, 64 were killed. How about another one? Okay, 29 aircraft were destroyed. There should be one more, Emily.
5 legit submarines.
Okay, were destroyed. Okay, you'll need 2 of those 3.
You want us to put the third one, pilot captured?
That really isn't a loss or casualty. Although for him, I bet it was. Okay, Kyra, who did the lone nay vote come from in Congress after President Roosevelt asked Congress for a formal declaration of war against Japan following the events of Pearl Harbor.
And did it come in?
Yeah, who'd have come? Who voted no?
Oh, Jeanette,
Catch the spelling on that. Jeannettette, Rankin, Rankin. Very good. Who said this, Megan Moser? A Jap's a Jap. It makes no difference whether he is an American citizen or not. John DeWitt, General John DeWitt. That's right.
Good enough.
No, John DeWitt's okay. Because the question actually is, who was the American general who was quoted as saying? Okay. All right. Aurora, during the time of relocation of Japanese Americans in the United States following Pearl Harbor, what percentage were native born to the United States?
67%.
67%. Very good. Gabe, who was the first Japanese American to resist the relocation movement by the United States government?
Gordon Hirabashi.
Hirabashi. Spend some time on that one.
Oh, we have to know how to spell that?
Sure, it's his name.
Oh my goodness.
It's actually just.
Sully, give me one thing that happened in 1988 that Congress did to try to right the relocation policy of Japanese Americans during World War II.
They gave all the people who were still living at that time $20,000.
Okay, what else did they do, Julie?
Public apology.
Gave them a public apology. So you would put, they gave the 80,000 surviving Japanese Americans $20,000 each, and they gave the surviving Japanese Americans a public apology. Caitlin, give me one way, and go into detail, the United States government financed World War II.
By war bonds.
And how much did they finance by war bonds? That's what I mean by detail. How much did they, how much,
$268 billion.
which was what percent of it? 67%. And what was the other way, Emily? That we financed World War II? Taxes, how much?
33%.
And how many billion? There you go. Okay, there are your 40 answers, kiddos. That test will be tomorrow. It'll be in the comments, excuse me. It'll be worth 80 points, and we'll go from there. Now, I gotta tell you a story, because Sully made me think of this. I don't know, what were we talking about that got me thinking about this?
You mentioned herding cats.
Oh, herding cats, yeah. She asked me how the meeting went. Orangeburg, I said it was like herding cats. But anyway, I'll tell you this kind of interesting story a friend of mine got himself involved in involving animals.